This is Nina's new multi-track sequencer. Melbourne Instruments have updated Nina with a powerful multi-track sequencer allowing for per-step control across 12 voices and 4 tracks. The new mode introduces a polyphonic polymeter sequencer that complements Nina's full analog synth engine and motorized knobs. This update brings front panel automation with per-step locking and many new performance and sequencer enhancing features. Nina's existing features remain unchanged, although we've added 64 noise types to help with sound design possibilities and creating more percussive type sounds. The new multi-track sequencer allows for greater sonic exploration in a standalone form for studio and live applications. Nina's new multi-track sequencer is a free upgrade available to all existing Nina owners. We even have a free magnetic overlay to help you with understanding the new button functions. Starting from Nina's home screen, here's how we access the new sequencer. Click on sequencer, change the mode to multi-track sequencer, and watch what happens to the screen. We get black text on white. This way you'll know that you're in the multi-track sequencer mode. Taking a quick look at the overlay, you can see some of the added functions to the buttons, such as track, track mute, page, live record, sequencer mode, and also the keyboard icon, keyboard mode as well. There are 2 key concepts here for the multi-track sequencer. We have patterns, and each pattern contains 4 tracks, and each track can be up to 64 steps in length. On screen, you'll know which mode you're in. By the top left-hand corner, you'll see that we're now in pattern mode. Selecting track mode or any of the track features, we have moved to track. Let's take a look at the info bar, which is persistent for most pages. We've got the pattern number, the track selected, the length of that track, and the BPM. Some of the settings for pattern include shuffle per pattern, moving the rhythm in front or behind. So in pattern mode, we have room to load 16 patterns, which we can perform and play back at any time. Here I'll chain 2 patterns, 7 and 8. And you can see the chain cue has got 7 and 8. The great thing about pattern mode is that we can set the change length per pattern. So each pattern will default to the length of the longest track, but with change length, we can determine how many repeats of that pattern before it changes to the next pattern. So this is in step amounts. We've got from 16 up to 512. A change length of 512 will allow you to play a pattern of 64 steps 8 times before it changes. So think of chaining patterns as somewhat of a song mode, but you have control over when and where and how many times a pattern can be repeated. Don't forget that Nina will remember any changes you make to patterns when they're loaded to 1 to 16, although you will have to save those changes to commit them to memory. Track mode is where you'll record and build your sequences. There's a number of settings, including volume, length per track, direction, including backwards, forwards, random, and ping pong. We've also got track probability as a percentage. Then we have a clock multiplier where we can double speed, half time, third, and a quarter speed as well. Nina is a 12-voice polyphonic synthesizer. Now consider that we have 4 tracks in Nina's multi-track sequencer. Therefore, we've got 3 voices per track. Now you can edit this under track voices. This is where you'll get your polyphonic sequencing. But wait, there is more. If you're using some of the new noise sources, then it's probably best that you change that to one voice, such as here where we've got the kick drum. So you can increase your voice count per track, but do remember that you've only got 12 voices to play with. So if I increase it here, remember to decrease it on another track. We've got note pass-through for performing with the internal keyboard or an external MIDI keyboard. We've got a step offset, being able to move our steps one step forward or back, up to 16 is available. Then we have a number of settings that come from Nina's layer menu. Considering tracks are just an adaptation of the layer menu in Nina, we still have all those options available to us. Per step parameter locking is where the multi-track sequencer really starts to shine. So here I've entered record mode. I can then add some steps. Now, by holding down a step, I then enter the step menu where I can enter the root note, the offset if I had a chord, the velocity per step, probability. Probability here we have some percentage, and then we also have some trigger conditions as well. And the probability per step will override the track probability. We also have our gate length per step, micro timing, so we can then shift each step individually in front or behind. And then we have a step note enable. Let's look at how to lock some of the front panel parameters to an individual step. Hold down the step and dial away. If I want to preview the parameters that I've locked to that step, all I need to do is hold down the step and the motorized knobs will instantly snap to that position. So now let's have a quick listen. There is another way of seeing what I've locked per step. That is by turning animate on. The great thing about animate, it's global, so it's persistent in pattern mode and track mode. We can also parameter lock whilst the sequencer is running, although you want to turn animate off so you're not fighting the knobs. Don't worry, you're not going to damage Nina by touching those moving knobs. It just gets a little bit annoying, but each to their own. Turn animate on and you can see what we've done there. At the moment, we've just been locking parameters per step, but we can also record the automation across the entire track as smooth automation. We call that live record. To live record, we simply put Nina into live record and the rec button will flash. This means that Nina is ready to record any of the front panel as a live movement. So let's find something that we haven't yet locked, and I think it would be the level of oscillator 1. And all I need to do is literally perform that movement. If I take it out of record mode and animate, you'll see that move smoothly. The great thing is that anything that I've locked per step will override the smooth automation, so you can have a mix of both as well. You'll notice that there's some steps that are flashing. Those flashing steps indicate that we've recorded some automation to that step, yet there's no note data on that step. If I hold one of those steps down, you'll see, and as I scroll through, that oscillator 1 level is slowly or steadily increasing as we get to the end of the 16-step track. If we hit play, you'll see it move. So let's go ahead and now parameter lock one of those steps. I'll take step 5 here, which would be normally, we're about a third of the way. No, let's go to 9. So we're kind of like halfway, a little bit over halfway. And I'll hold that down and I'm going to make that all the way to the minimum amount. Now watch what happens. It gets to 9 and drops because that's where it was locked. But there's more. If we like one of the steps and the data that we've locked to it, we can also copy and paste that as well. Whilst we're in record, we hold down a step and we've got the soft keys turn into copy and paste. So here I'm going to copy that step and I'm going to paste it numerous times so it's quite obvious what I've done. Let's hear it. So if we take animate off, we're still free to move the front panel and adjust the fundamental default preset sound. I'm free to perform over the top of all the parameter locking that I've done as well. So far, we've just been listening to one track and manipulating one track only, but we've got 3 other tracks there that I've had muted. To unmute, I hold track and mute. Whilst keeping held down, you'll see that tracks 1, 2, and 4 are muted because they are flashing. To unmute them, I would simply press them to make them go solid, and we're banging. It's also important to note what track you're on because the front panel will be changing the sound for that particular track, for that particular sound. So to select a track, we're just holding track down and you can see as I select a different track, 1, 2, 3, or 4, you'll see how the front panel is snapping to position instantly. This particular pattern uses polymeters. Each track has a different length. So here we've got track 3, and we can see that the length is 27. When we increase the number of steps, we also get more pages. So obviously each page is 16, and as we increase it, if we go beyond 32, we'll get the 3rd page, up to the 4th page. To navigate those pages, we have to be in record mode, and we just press page, and then we've got the selection of pages here, and the little page number will be solid as well on screen. Your pattern length will also default to the longest track length. As part of the update, we've also included 64 new noise types as building blocks for percussive and experimental sounds. To access them, simply press the noise type. We've still got our 4 original noise types, And then we go into the new ones, such as what's even nicer is that we can lock different noise types to different steps. Aha! Here you can see I've just got a 4 on the floor with one of the random noises we just chose. Let's add some more. Don't forget, we can also cut and copy as well for complete madness. And then you've got the rest of the front panel to then shape and manipulate your sound over time. So all the sounds and patterns you've just heard come with Nina's new multi-track sequencer firmware update. All of Nina's regular features are still underneath this hood, are still accessible. This will allow you to bring out a new sound and unique sound. Head to our website. More details below. We'll have more on Nina's multi-track sequencer real soon. Thanks for watching.